Welcome to the channel. This is Technoscope.
Welcome back, Scopers. Today I'd like to talk to you about the Samsung Unpacked event 2015, and I'd like to give you a little bit of my input on the whole matter. Now the Note 5, the big phone that they announced today, kind of left me wanting. It was a decent phone. It's very beautiful, put it that way. It's a beautiful phone. I love, the styling, the S Pen. It's very nice. Premium materials, great camera. Of course, the last two Note phones had great cameras as well. So, but anyway, let's get into it. My point of this video is that as a Samsung fan, I wasn't very happy. As a Samsung power user, Android power user, Samsung fan, I was not happy. Let me go back through my history real quick with Samsung. My first Samsung phone that I can remember was the Samsung, I believe it's called the Sync. It was a flip phone that had media buttons on the front. You had a micro SD card slot. It was a flip phone, but it played music. It had Bluetooth. It was a decent little phone for a pre-smartphone era. Then after a couple Blackberries, I bought my first smartphone, Android smartphone, which was the Samsung Galaxy S on AT&T, which is also called the Captivate. The Captivate was a great phone. After doing some research, I discovered that it was not just a good phone. It actually had the best specs of any phone on the market at the time. So when I got ready to upgrade that, I went out and bought another Samsung phone because I loved the Captivate so much. And that phone was the Infuse 4G. I say 4G with air quotes because it was an HSPA phone. It wasn't really 4G, it was just fast 3G. Now, that phone was the first 4.5-inch phone for Samsung. It was a big deal. I mean, the phone was almost all screen. When the screen and the capacitor buttons were off, it was a black piece of glass. That was it. The only other thing that came close to it was HTC's phone that had the little circles up at the bottom. I've never been huge on HTC because their batteries have always stuck. So, but the phone. So when I got ready to upgrade from the Infuse 4G, the next logical step was the Galaxy S2. And on AT&T, they had one that was 4.5 inches as well because, after a 4.5-inch Infuse, I did not want to step down back to a 4-inch screen. So the regular Galaxy S2 was not going to work for me. But AT&T went a different way. They went with LTE. It was one of the first LTE phones, and they went with a 4.5-inch screen, and they called the phone the Skyrocket, and it was amazing at the time. For a phone at the time, it was extremely fast. It was the first phone that had very quick data where you could actually literally just pull up stuff whenever you want to, get on there and Google stuff, watch videos, do things like that. It was the first phone that was fast enough to do that kind of stuff. Now the next phone that I upgraded to was the Galaxy Note 1. I actually still have that phone. So the next phone that I got after the Skyrocket was the Galaxy Note, the original Note. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, Galaxy Note. At the time, this was enormous. Most phones were 4 inches still when Samsung was doing 4.5-inch screens, and then they dropped this behemoth on us. This phone changed everything for me. It was the first Android with the stylus. Plus, it was enormous and had all these extra features the other phones didn't have, and the specs killed everything else. The specs on this killed everything else. Huge battery for the time, and very fast processor, a lot of RAM. Then I went out and got the Note 2, a mere I want to say I got this phone. It was like February when it came out on AT&T, and then I bought the Note 2 in November, I believe, when it released. The same year. This phone, the Note 2, I bought both in the same year. The Note 2 blew this out of the water and it killed everything else. It was an amazing phone. The specs on it were top notch. It was awesome. That phone I kept for from November to October the next year, when the next phone released on AT&T, which was the Note 3. The Note 3, in my opinion, is still the pinnacle of the Note phones, because not only does it have all the expansion slots available, the big battery, 3200 milliamp hours. It also has USB 3.0, and if you have a USB 3.0 connection, you can really take advantage of that stuff. Now, the Note 3 had 3 gigs of RAM. It was the first phone to do that. And matter of fact, I believe it was about 6 months before the next phone came out that had 3 gigs of RAM. 32 gigabytes of storage, standard. You know, it was a 1080p screen. It was one of the first 1080p screens. It was just an awesome, all-around solid phone. You had the expandable storage up to 128 gigabytes. And I mean, even with today, with Lollipop, you could probably go all the way to the 200 that SanDisk sells. I mean, it was a great all-around phone. Still today, it's an awesome phone. I don't know what else to say about that. Now, today I have the Note 4, which is a good phone, but it was at best an incremental upgrade from the Note 3. In fact, you lose the USB 3.0, which was never coming back because it confused a lot of people. They didn't know you could use the regular micro SD cables with USB 3.0. So they got rid of that, and you lost the extra speed with it as well. But Note 4 USB 2.0, and you get the fingerprint reader. Still 3 gigs of RAM, so at best it's just an incremental upgrade. Then today they announced the Note 5. The Note 5. Okay, they upgraded the processor. Yes, it's a good processor. 64-bit, in fact. 4 gigs of RAM. They didn't really mention the storage, but I'm guessing it's still 32 gigabytes, which has been the same since the Note 3. But you lose removable battery. And in fact, it shrunk from these other phones. The Note 3 was 3200 milliamp hours. The Note 4, 3220 milliamp hours. You got 20 extra milliamp hours. The Note 5, 3000 milliamp hours. You lose 220 milliamp hours and the ability to change out the battery if you need to. You don't have expandable storage anymore. So you can't add it. So if you're one of those guys, if you're an artist, you're a vlogger or something, you record a lot of videos, you take a lot of pictures, you use your storage for a lot of whatever it may be. You're on the road all the time and you have it full of videos, movies and stuff. You do not have that extra storage anymore. It's just gone. They completely removed it. So no longer. It's no longer there. So here's my question. Who is this phone for? Is it for iPhone users? It seems like to me that Samsung dropped all their existing customer base to go after the iPhone user. Because think about it. Keep in mind, this phone is for power users. Joe Blow, who doesn't care about the Android devices, who doesn't really care, what his phone can do, does not go out and spend the money on a Note 5, on a Note 4, or a Note 3. He buys at best the S6, the S5, whatever that phone is. The person that buys this phone, they want something that can do a lot of stuff. They are power users, they're business professionals, they're photographers, vloggers, people that have to get stuff done. And it's like, they basically crapped on all those people just so that they could have this phone that appeals more to iPhone users. So where does that leave us? Because honestly, I don't know what my next phone will be. I have absolutely no idea. I don't know where I'm going from here. So, no, don't get me wrong. The Note 5 is a beautiful phone. The S6 Edge Plus is a beautiful phone. But I don't know where I'm going after this phone, and I'm ready to upgrade. But if I got the Note 5, I would have to have a standby phone. I'd probably have to keep this, matter of fact. I don't know what to do. It just doesn't fit my needs. It doesn't fit the needs of a lot of people who are on the go constantly, who really want to get stuff done, who are using their phone to be productive. In fact, it's almost certain at this point that if Microsoft releases a killer phone with their Continuum, with their Windows 10 Continuum on it, that phone with the stylus could probably murder Samsung's next release. If it's a great phone, it has Windows 10 Continuum, it supports, you know, if you don't know this by now, Microsoft is trying to support Android apps on their devices natively. So their next device, if they wanted to, Microsoft could go for the jugular and just take out Samsung's Note market. I mean, it's doubtful they will, but they could do it in theory. So anyway, leave me your thoughts and comments down below on how you feel about this. Do you like the device? Is the Note 5 in your future? Have you already decided that you're going to buy it? Have you pre-ordered? Because that started today. If you know that you want the Note 5, if you know that's the phone that you're going to have, you absolutely need to have it. That is it. Go ahead and leave a comment below, because I definitely want to hear your opinions on it. What sold you on it? And did you have a Note 4 or a Note 3? And did any of those features they got rid of, did they matter to you? Let me know all of that below. And go ahead, and if you haven't already, if you're new to the channel, welcome to TechnoScope. Go ahead and subscribe below, because I have a lot more videos coming in your future. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up. I'll see you in the next video. My name is Elemento, and this is TechnoScope.